You think you can destroy me? You're mine.
Vampires are about as classic as you can get for horror icons, with more movies made about them than you can throw a stake at. We have the 1931 Dracula, immortalized by Bela Lugosi, 1958's Horror of Dracula, in which Christopher Lee turns in a similarly iconic performance, the timeless 1922 Nosferatu, last year's remake of the same name, which I really liked, the overblown but enjoyable Bram Stoker's Dracula, the star studded interview with the vampire, Sweden's excellent update to the formula with Let the Right One In, the campy but eminently enjoyable Fright Night, this year's fantastic Sinners, and if I mention that one, I have to mention From Dusk Till Dawn. And then you've got the action horror entries like Blade, Underworld, and Van Helsing. Not really horror per se, but all fun watches. Whew, that's a lot, and that's barely scratching the surface. If I were to include TV series in this list, Midnight Mass would be my hands down favorite piece of vampire media. No question. I think it's the most inventive, twisted, and downright accomplished portrayal of vampires we've ever gotten. It's a slow burn, but is it ever worth it? However, this list is about movies, so with that in mind, I have to go with The Lost Boys.
How far are you willing to go, Michael?
Two brothers move with their divorced mother to the sun-bleached California town of Santa Carla, hoping for a fresh start, only to discover they've landed in the murder capital of the world. Beneath the carnival lights and rock-filled boardwalk, something lurks in the dark. A pack of edgy, thrill-seeking vampires who treat immortality like an endless summer night. The Lost Boys, released in 1987, redefined the vampire myth for a new generation, turning the often stuffy subject matter into a fast-moving thriller soaked in 80s attitude. The fusion of horror and pop culture blends into a neon-drenched fever dream, where leather-clad vampires race around on motorbikes and party it up like there's no tomorrow. The characteristic vampiric magnetism and sexiness is well represented in a more modern package. I mean, it's the 80s, so not so modern now, but a lot more recent than the 19th century.
Michael, Michael.
It's blood.
Michael, Michael.
Yeah, sure.
When Michael falls under the spell of the gang's charismatic leader, David, his slow descent into vampirism becomes a battle for his soul. His younger brother, Sam, armed with comic book knowledge and the help of the eccentric Frog brothers,
We're dedicated to a higher purpose. We're fighters for truth, justice, and the American way.
must fight to save him before night claims them all. There's plenty of vampire lore in here to please the purists, like master vampires and differing degrees of transformation, but there's also plenty of humor, action, and suspense, along with some genuine moments of horror. While not as strictly focused on the horrific elements as some of the others in the subgenre, there's still plenty there to complement the more lighthearted moments.
Okay, where's Nosferatu? Who? Prince of Darkness.
Nightcrawler, the bloodsucker.
El Vampiro.
Mike! They're here!
Everything is woven together so well. All the disparate elements that shouldn't really go together end up working perfectly. The acting is great. You've got the two Coreys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, both famous in their own right at the time, and Kiefer Sutherland with a standout performance as the super cool David. Not to mention Alex Winter of Bill and Ted's fame, which released only a couple years later. The tale takes a few twists and turns, which keep you engaged until the end. It's excellently paced, very atmospheric, and incredibly stylish. The Lost Boys turns eternal youth into a deadly temptation. It's a great watch.
You'll never grow old, Michael. And you'll never die.
Night 8 drew blood, and Halloween is drawing nearer. What chills will Night 9 hold in store?